So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, as you can see, I'm excited. And there's some great news, some breaking news, some huge news in the boxing world, which is going to get us fans very excited. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have signed a 2-fight deal to fight. The contracts are signed. Eddie Hearn has confirmed that we are now going to get this undisputed fight, and we're going to get 2 fights. We're not going to get 1, we're going to get 2 fights. We're going to get 2 fights between the 2 heavyweight champions. I'm so happy that this fight's got over the line, like they've managed to sign the contracts. I am still a bit skeptical. There's no venue, there's no date. So right now we just know the contracts are signed, and Eddie Hearn said those are the most important thing, is to get the 2 fighters to sign the deal, or the 2 parties to sign their ends of the contract. And it seems like that's done. So now it's Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum and Frank Warren's duty to go out and secure the venue and the date. And then obviously let the fans know that this is when the fight's going to happen. Of course, they'll let us know when everything's confirmed. But we now know that this undisputed fight will take place as the contracts are signed. The main stumbling block is done. Now it's just about them finding the venue and the date, which, you know, they'll do. Which isn't going to be easy, by the way, because obviously with the current climate and the way things are in the current world, you know, things are messed up. Like, I know Italy have still gone into a lockdown again. So, you know, things aren't great right now. So let's see where they decide and where they host this fight. It's obviously going to be where they can make the most money, or where they can make the most money for the 2 fighters. But I'm so chuffed to bits that this fight's finally going to happen, and we're going to get to see this fight. And possibly, we're probably going to get it twice this year. Because if they announce a fight in a month, or this month, right, the end of this month, we're probably looking at a June-July fight. And then they could easily fight again in December. You know, that's not what, how much is it? So there's August, September, October, November. Yeah, they could easily fight. They could easily fight in December again. So they could potentially have 2 fights this year. So that would be an absolute treat for the boxing fans. But at least, at the bare minimum, we'll get them once this year, which will be, you know, I'll be over the moon if we can get them twice. But even if we get them once, like, these type of fights in boxing don't happen regular. They just don't happen. They don't happen on a consistent basis, and that's why I feel like the sport's dying. And this is hopefully gonna, fights like this will help revive the sport. What a fight between 2 guys that are the heavyweight champions from Great Britain, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. There's nothing bigger than that in boxing. There's nothing bigger than the heavyweight championship of the world. This is the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, with all the belts on the line, all the marbles, to crown the #1 heavyweight in the world. Nothing bigger than that. Nothing bigger than that. There was a time when the heavyweight champion was the biggest star in the world, biggest sports star in the world. That's how much the heavyweight championship meant. You know, and over the years, because of the state of the heavyweight division, that honor and that position of being the heavyweight champion was undervalued. But now I feel like it's coming back. And both these guys are huge stars, huge names. They've both got a huge following, and it's going to make for an epic fight. It's going to make for a cracking fight. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait, because like I said, fights like this don't get made every day. You know, normally fights like this take, you know, there's always some kind of stumbling block. They never happen, or they're 3-4 years too late. Well, we've got it when we want it. Now, let's not get too carried away with it, because Eddie Hearn has confirmed that the contracts are signed. However, I never saw anything on AJ's social media. I haven't seen anything on Eddie Hearn's social media. I haven't seen anything on Tyson Fury's social media. You know, it's just Eddie Hearn saying that the contracts are signed. You know, and everybody's gone mad, and everybody's confirming, yes, the fight's on, they've signed the contract. But like I said, I've not seen anything on their social media, which is kind of bizarre, because if they would have signed the fight, surely they would have announced that on social media. Yes, I get it. The date and venue are still to be announced. But if they've even signed the contract, that's a big hurdle that they've overcome. That means the fight will be taking place. It's just about finding the venue and giving the fans the date, confirming the date and the venue. But they haven't confirmed, both parties or no parties have confirmed on in social media that they've signed the contract. But I'd assume if Eddie Hearn has mentioned this, there's no reason why he would lie or make something like that up. I'd assume that it is signed, and all the broadcasters, DAZN, everybody in boxing has confirmed that this fight has been agreed and signed. But again, they're only going off what Eddie Hearn has said. And is it one of those situations where Eddie Hearn's got carried away? I don't think so. I think the fight's probably is signed, and it's great news for boxing fans, and we're all excited because now we've got the biggest fight in world boxing probably this year. So it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. Think about it. If when the date and venue are confirmed, we've got Billy Joe Saunders Canelo, we've got Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, and we've got Anthony Joshua v Tyson Fury. Potentially all could take place in the space of 3 months. We've got 2 undisputed fights. We've got 1 unification fight in Saunders and Canelo. We've got 2 undisputed fights probably in the space of a couple months, which is what we want in boxing. That's what we want. And hopefully this can be this year. If all these fights come to fruition, hopefully we can get Spence Crawford signed. Hopefully that fight can happen. And then we can get, and then that sets a trend moving forward in boxing where all these big fights happen when the fans want them to happen. Right? Hopefully. But I can't explain to you how excited and how happy I am that this fight is signed and we're going to get this fight. It's just such great news. Great news that this fight is going to happen. And it's going to leave a lot of smiles on a lot of boxing fans' faces. I can't wait. I think it's an epic fight as well. Like I said, in Britain, I cannot tell you the hype that there will be around this fight. It's going to be massive. It's going to be, they're saying that it could be the biggest sporting event since England winning the World Cup. That's how big it is. And look how long ago that was. That was in 1962? 1965, I can't remember, 1960s or whatever, whenever they won the World Cup. We're talking about almost 60 years afterwards. They're saying that this could potentially be the biggest sporting event in British sport since then. Wow. That's how big they think this is going to be. And I do agree. I don't know whether it's the biggest since then. I don't know. But in terms of, it is definitely one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest British sporting events ever. It's that big. It's that big. It's a huge, huge fight. Huge, huge fight. And listen, it is one of the biggest fights in boxing history as well. It's not the, I won't go as far as saying it's the biggest. It's not the biggest financially, and it's not, these two guys are nowhere near the name that Mayweather was, or nowhere near the even Pacquiao or even Canelo was, but it is definitely a big fight. But like I said, I think there's been other fights, like, Tyson Holyfield, Tyson Lewis. There's been other fights that were very, very big as well, so I think it's one. I definitely think it's among those. I don't think it's bigger than those. I think it's definitely, you'd have to say that it's among those fights. However, I'm just chuffed. I'm just so happy that one of the biggest fights in boxing today has been signed. It's between two of the heavyweight champions for the undisputed championship. All the belts on the line. Can you imagine all the belts on the line for the heavyweight championship of the world? This will be the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis. Wow. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I know now we're going to start getting into a debate. Who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? Right now, today, I just want to enjoy the fact that they've signed the contracts and we're going to get a fight between these two. I'll get into it once, obviously the date and venue are confirmed. Then I'll start talking about the fights and who I think who's going to win, what prediction and breakdowns, and having debates with people, because this fight's going to be mega and it's going to need me to do a lot of videos on this fight, because like I said, this is the biggest fight in British boxing history, right? Without question, miles. There's no question. It's the biggest fight in British boxing history by a mile. I don't think anything comes close. You know, what Lewis and Bruno isn't anywhere near as big as this. And I can't think of a fight that comes anywhere near as big as this. If you guys can, let me know. But I don't think there's a fight anywhere near as big as Anthony Joshua v Tyson Fury. So this fight is probably going to happen maybe in July. So we're not even that far away from the time this fight probably happens, because they signed the contract. It's probably going to happen in you know, I would say July time. So it's great news. It's great news. And in terms of the pay-per-view, but I think it's going to do over 2 million. I reckon it's going to do crazy numbers. And it's going to be interesting to see what they set the price at. It's going to be interesting to see what price they set for this pay-per-view, because I do think that it's going to be a lot more expensive than what we're normally used to paying. And to be honest, I think if it's reasonable, 30, 35, I don't think people are going to mind paying it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 40, 50 quid as well, because they may look to cash in as much as they can, because they know people are going to buy it. They know people are going to spend that money. They know people will buy it. If it's 40 quid or 45, people will still buy it. They will still buy the pay-per-view, and it will still do over 2 million pay-per-view buys. So Sky could take, hopefully they don't take advantage of the fans and the fact that the fans want to see this fight so much that they you know, put premium prices. Hopefully not. Hopefully they keep it reasonable to about 30 quid. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do make the prices higher than what we even expect, like 40, 50 quid. I wouldn't be shocked. It wouldn't shock me one bit, because like I said, it would be, they know that regardless of what they put the price at, people are going to buy. Even though fans are going to moan and groan, they know they're still going to buy it. So hopefully not. Hopefully it's 30 quid. Hopefully it's something reasonable. And that would be quite high, because I can't remember a pay-per-view in the UK being above 30, or even being 30 quid for that matter, or even being above 25 quid. I know the highest is 24.99. I don't think the pay-per-view price has been any higher than that. And hopefully that's just a one-off for that fight, because that fight's a unique fight. Hopefully that doesn't become the norm, because once they kind of break the boundaries, sometimes they'll set the price and just keep that. Hopefully they don't make it a norm. But I do think that there's going to be a change in pay-per-view anyway, because I think DAZN are coming into the market. And I think DAZN coming into the market, I don't know how long Sky, in terms of boxing, are going to be delivering top quality content, because I think DAZN are looking to take over. But yeah, it's great news. That's for another video, but it's great news. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have signed a 2-fight deal to fight for the undisputed championship of the world. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How excited are you? Are you looking forward to this fight? What's your predictions? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm just chuffed. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.